Come on up in here. Let me get my mic. It'll be a little easier if you gotta follow me with my mic. Yo. Come on in here. Get my mic. What's up, Richie? What's up, y'all? Come on in here. I'm about to talk about the busters of hip hop. What's up, Dre Day? What up? What's up, Deep Impression? What's up, Quan? I don't want to be here on here all night. I got my family from Dallas in town. I want to go holler at them a little later on. What's up, Monique? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's up, American Negro? J Mac? Devin Haley. Hey, Devin, you be tripping me out on Facebook. Devin be posting that information. This is one dude on Facebook, I forgot his name. But this nigga's always be tagging people in every goddamn thing on Facebook. I remember looking on Devin's page one day. She was like, will you stop tagging me in this shit? That shit was hilarious. See, I would have said that before people started like kind of... See, a lot of y'all kind of know me from a public perspective, so I treat y'all a little different than people who are on my friends list before I got more public. Before I got more public, I would have been like, hey man, fuck you. Keep this shit off my page. Now, I don't want to be so mean, because niggas going to be like, oh, do I say such and such and such and such? They're trying to bounce in Twitter and YouTube is work. What's up, Kurt? Yeah. I got in. Tariq had a space earlier. I got to go back. Shouts out to D Tubman. And for always having them the archives of Tariq and Jason Black and what they do, because I'll be missing all that shit, man. I got to the end of Tariq's broadcast. I thought I heard like the last 25 minutes of it, but I didn't hear it all. In Twitter Spaces, I mean. What's my favorite James Brown song? I don't have a favorite James Brown song. I like so many James Brown songs. I don't know if I have a favorite. I like Funky President because of the message. People, you got to get over before you go under. That's some funky shit. With the funkiest dance beat, James Brown told us, people, you got to get over before we go under. Got to build the factory and own the job. I love Body Heat. I love Get Up Off of That Thing and Dance to You Feel Better. I like so much James Brown. I like King Heroin by James Brown. Go back. If y'all want to hear some preaching, look up a song by James Brown called King Heroin. James Brown kind of rapping and talking about the dangers of heroin. And when he starts the song, he says, from where I came, nobody knows. Y'all see how we keep getting that same thing happening to us black people? The issue in James Brown Day was heroin. And heroin came from somewhere that nobody knew. And then after heroin, it was crack. Now them white motherfuckers is on meth. No disrespect to the people whose family members are suffering for it. My heart goes out to you. I'm just talking in general. I did an Uber ride. I remember a long time ago I did this Uber ride for this white dude. I was picking the dude up. This is probably like 2016. I was picking him up from the airport and taking him to like one of those expensive ass rehab facilities like in fucking Malibu or some shit. And he was like coming out for, came out for like 6 months to have rehab. And, I felt bad for the man, All right, man. I felt bad for the man, stuck on them drugs, but still, I'm thinking like, this is what your country did to you, man. Your country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of no liberty. What's up, Black Alpha Network? Y'all follow Black Alpha Network. That brother be putting it down. But in real life, we've been having we have a buster problem in hip hop, y'all. We got a for real buster problem going on right now. Busta Rhymes, Busta Ass Fat Joe, and Busta Ass foundational Black American hip hop artists who don't stand up for it. Just busters all around. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with busters through and through. And no personal disrespect to Busta Rhymes. No personal disrespect to Fat Joe and your crew and your family members. I have no issues with anybody personally because no one's personally done anything for me, man. Oh, yeah, and rest in peace, Teddy Ray, man. Rest in peace, Teddy. I'm always going to, I think just for the next few months, I'm just going to always rest in peace, Teddy Ray, man. I miss my little young nigga, man. And I miss Teddy. But anyway, man, I miss Teddy. But anyway, so we're dealing with busters all around, you dig? We're dealing with Busta Rhymes. And so for those of you who are unaware, who are new in here, who may not have been, because some of y'all work real hard, and so I don't expect everyone to know what I'm talking about. So let me lay the foundation of what I'm talking about tonight. I've been on this kick a lot lately, and I'm going to stay on this kick until these motherfuckers shut up. Busta Rhymes said Latinos and blacks got together to create hip-hop. And my issue is this: since when did fucking Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans get along? Outside of when they fucking with us. Since when did Latin and black people get along? Come on now. Let's just, here's an, Buster, where? I mean, tell me, what island, what landmass did Latinos and blacks come together to co-create hip-hop? That shit definitely didn't happen in Santo Domingo. It didn't happen in Haiti, on the island of Hispaniola. Look at the island of Hispaniola. On one side, you got the Dominican Republican, I said Republican, Dwan. You got the Dominican Republic on one side, Haiti on the other side. One Latin run, one French run at some point. Y'all remember just about, was that 5 or 6 years ago? They were chasing Haitians out of the Dominican Republic? Does that sound hip hop to you? Does that sound hip hop to you? They were chasing Haitians. They got one little tiny ass island up in the ass crack of the Caribbean. If you look at like where Haiti is that perineum space in the Caribbean. You know the perineum, that space between your ball sack and your asshole? That's where that island exists within the Caribbean. No disrespect to Haitians. I'm just talking about geography. No disrespect to the Dominicans. But you motherfuckers don't get along. One little ass island. That island is the side of my thumb. We've seen roaches bigger than Haiti and the Dominican Republic. There's roaches bigger than that little ass island. And in that small piece of land, blacks and Latinos can't get along. In Jamaica, do y'all fuck with Cubans like that? I don't see Jamaicans and Cubans fucking with each other like that. Y'all island is 10 feet from the other. You can do a cartwheel from Jamaica to Cuba. Where's your cultural exchange? Yes, Taint Island. That's what it is. Yeah, you smokes for your food. Taint Island. So, this is what we're dealing with. See, last thing first, that's another thing we got to clear up. Caribbeans did not have the sound. Where did they get the sound system? Even the sound system thing is a myth, is a lie, y'all. See, a lot of us, we've been hearing these, and I'm not going at you last thing first. I'm not going at you at all, okay? That's what I'm not going at anybody. But it's just that some of these lies have been going on for so long, we accept them as true. The sound system is from here. Jamaica is poor. Well, name the Jamaican sound system company. All right. What do you think? What do you think was playing in those parts in Philadelphia? You got like videos of them having street parties with major sound systems in Philadelphia, man. Playing, they bumping, sliding the Family Stone and the OJs. I mean, like, let's really break it down. Sound system culture is still America. This is where the shit's created. Like, here's the reason why. Now, did Jamaicans have loud sound systems? Yeah. Where did they buy them from? Here. But if you look at the sound system that they had in Jamaica, Jamaica was still using phonographs in the 60s, y'all. Y'all know them record players that you gotta wind up like a jack in the box? Nigga, the Jamaicans were still using them damn phonographs that the Grammy is shaped like in the 60s. Americans stopped using phonographs in the 40s, in the 50s. These motherfuckers still have phonographs in 1969. And they want to talk about sound system culture? I mean, look at this. Just go back and look at Jamaican sound systems during the 60s. Look, your kids had better Fisher-Price speakers than them motherfuckers in the 60s. Y'all remember remember when we was kids back in the 80s, we had the little Fisher-Price speaker and a microphone? Nigga, that was better than anything in Jamaica in 1971, I promise you. Nigga, a Fisher-Price speaker and a little, if you a boy, a powder blue microphone. If you a girl, it's pink. Them Fisher-Price sound systems was better than anything going on in Jamaica in 1967, I promise you. I promise you. If we're gonna really break it down, sound system culture. And this is no disrespect to Jamaicans. Because I keep telling you, I love the steel drums. Shouts out to one of my listeners, Mama Zeke. I love her. She's dope as hell. She's Jamaican. Man, I ain't got no problems with Jamaicans. I ain't got none. I ain't got no problems with Caribbean people. I ain't got no problems with nobody who ain't got problems with me. You dig? But if you infringe on my culture, I'm very serious about black children needing a cultural inheritance that's all theirs. I'm telling y'all right now, the thing that drives me, my motivation for all this shit, is for black people, man, woman, and child. We spend too much time separating. The real Trinity, God is in man, woman, and child. That's God. Some people say the black woman's God. Some people say the black man is God. No, motherfucker. Yeah, that's true. But so is the child. It's a little God that got to get trained by the older gods. Black man, woman, child. It is my duty. Like, I feel it in my spirit, in my heart. I just want us to have something that's all our own without infringing on anyone else. Just purely own our culture. Because for so long, we've purely owned our mistakes and our faults and our defects. We have 100% ownership of our issues, our problems. We have to own our ghetto subculture. Every group has a subculture that's hella ghetto, hella ratchet. Every group has an underbelly. Black Americans are the only ones that have to own our underbelly as if it's us. Hell, we gotta own other black people's underbelly. Because anytime they fuck up, they black. They Barbados, what the fuck you call it? Barbadosin? What do you call that shit? Barbarism? Barbarians? What do you call Barbados people? Since Dougie Fresh want to claim he the original beatboxer. Bajans? Why? They black when they fuck up though, ain't they? That woman, I think she was from Cameroon that shot them people up in Atlanta, them three men. They was telling us she black. But if she had a hit record, she'd be Trinidadian or where the fuck ever. So we have, and let me give you this is how I view it, y'all. This is how I view it. At the end of the day, white supremacy can only exist when black people have adopted a mindset of subservience. I'm a flat out, straight up cause and effect person. I follow and I look at everything that I see happen in front of me. I don't judge. I look at cause and effect, and I see the positive and the negative. There's a cause and effect relationship to everything that we deal with on this planet. Everything. From whether or not you got some good weed, or the quality of those tennis shoes that you bought, or the rain, and everything has a cause and effect relationship. If you see an effect, the first thing I always do is go back and try to find the root cause. Not a cause, the root cause. And you find a bunch of causes leading up to the root. The root cause, in my assessment, and I ain't saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm not no fucking John Henry Clark. I'm not, nigga, that's not me. I'm not Malcolm, I'm not Martin. I ain't none of them niggas, I'm Dwan. My assessment from the root cause of a lot of our inferiority complex as black people is the lie of omission. The lie of omission is the root cause of our inferiority complex. And the lie of omission is the most dangerous lie of all, in my opinion. Because when you tell 1/20th of the truth, or 10% of the truth, or whatever percentage of the truth, but if you frame that truth as a whole story, that's more dangerous than saying nothing at all. Because you don't know what you don't know. Let me say that again. You don't know what you don't know. When it comes to the live omission, you're listening and you're learning and you're being taught as if what you're being told is the whole story. So now you walk away thinking you knowing something. So how does that work on a day-to-day basis? And I'm gonna get back to Fat Joe and Busta Rhymes. How does that work? You tell a group of people and everyone around them that you're ratchet, you ain't shit, you are slaves, you have no history before slavery, everything good that happened in America, white folks did, you're an immigrant just like everyone else. You're told all these things, both directly and indirectly. You're taught this every day. This lie is taught to you every day. When you wake up in the morning and watch cartoons, they have all white kids on the TV commercials and on the cartoons. And when they do have a black kid, when we were children in the 80s before this gay thing popped off, but in the 80s and the 90s, the black person was always the dumb one. The white kid was always the smart one. It was the problem solver in all those 80s movies and 80s cartoons when we was kids. The white male was the problem solver. The white woman was the smart one. And the black person was always kind of the person that was just around, the fifth wheel. So you get suggested a point of view about yourself. Every TV commercial, all the cool toys, with the wrestling and the car racing tracks, those the white kids got all the cool toys. Nowadays, when you black, you just flat out gay. if you represented at all as a black male on TV. So you get this constant bombardment. You go to school. You're taught that I remember when I was in history class in the 5th grade, and I used to always go directly to the map. So in the back where the map was, we're studying Europe. We're studying Italy, all that stuff, the Vandals, the Visigoths. We're studying that shit. But if you remember when you were a child on those school book maps, just below Europe, you would see a silhouette of Africa, but it would be shaded. Europe had colors. France was red. England was blue. Germany was yellow. And it was like interactive. You saw the different names of the cities. And then you just kind of had a silhouette of Africa and absolutely no mention of Americas before Columbus. So you get a point of view through omission and through suggestion that you don't matter. So black people, after this constant bombardment of omission and half-truths, develop through suggestion a mindset of inferiority, and we own it. What's my evidence of that? Because whenever you have a theory, you got to have evidence and have that draw a conclusion. And my conclusion may be wrong, but here's some of my evidence as to why this is true. When one black person does something wrong, what's the first thing you hear from a lot of black people? What's wrong with us? Why we gotta always be messing up? We need to do better. What's wrong with us? And then you go to a church that tell you your God is white. This is why it's so important to have these conversations about that Buster and Fat Joe are bringing up. I thank those two knuckleheads because they making us wake up. For too long, black people, we don't pass down information. We don't share information. So we go to school, they don't teach us shit. You go to church, they ain't talking about shit. Turn on TV, they ain't doing shit. School ain't teaching you shit. And parents don't really talk to their fucking kids. Let's tell the truth. cannot tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me motherfucking God. Too many, I ain't saying all parents, but too many parents talk at their kids. You talk about their grades, and you talk about them when you talk to them when they fuck up. After that, you into social media and into other things. And you don't really have a rapport with your children. Not everybody, not the people in here, but too many black people. If this wasn't a problem, we wouldn't be in the position. We're in the position because of these problems. And all my years working with families, I gotta address my experience. Not all, but too many parents don't talk to their kids. Why am I bringing this up? Why am I bringing this up? I was nigga Larry in here with that beard. When this nigga Larry young, he looked like camel pussy. Back to what I was talking about. So, what was I talking? I lost my train of thought when I saw Larry's whole ass in the chat room. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about something. I was talking about damn it! I lost my train of thought. Chat room. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, talking to your children. Thank you, brother love. People, that's why I have my new book coming out. Tell it like it is. I know I've been slow walking it. It's gonna come out sometime in the next week or two. I know I've been slow walking it, but I gotta get it right. I was in there editing that shit again today. I just wanted to be perfect for y'all. Anything that I do, I love and respect y'all, man. I want to give y'all my best. That's why it took 7 months for me to release my music tree. I did that shit initially in a day and a half. But it took me 7 months to refine it to finally release it because I like giving you motherfuckers my best. But anyway, parents don't talk to their children. And this is a generational thing that's been passed down to us. And that's why we as black people don't have the proper talking points on controlling our culture and hip hop. Because a lot of parents, not my parents, my dad did a great job explaining music from the 70s for me. I'm going to tell y'all right now, one of the main reasons why I'm so good at breaking down music to y'all is because my dad broke it down to me when I was a kid. My dad used to teach me life lessons. And this is a suggestion to you fathers and mothers out there who you may not talk to your children regularly. Here's a suggestion, all right? And this has worked. It's what my father did for me. And I've suggested this my whole life working with children and families, and it works. My dad would take music that he liked, and he would break it down to me. Like, I would get in the car and be like, man, Dad, I want to listen to New Edition or something like that. And Pops say, no, we gonna listen to this right here. And I'd be like, damn. And so there's a song by Smokey Robinson called Fork in the Road. I remember that song came out, Fork in the Road. And that song I'm playing on Next in Cincinnati Trace. It's called Beware. The lyrics go, beware, danger's there. And talking about the fork in the road of love. And there's this line where Smokey says, worldwide travelers, you haven't gone nowhere until you travel down love's road. That's a cold ass line, y'all. Talk about a bar. Smokey Robinson, ooh. Worldwide travelers, you ain't gone nowhere until you travel down love's road. So I'm in the 8th grade with my dad breaking this down. You know, this is when you really, as a boy, you really hot for them chicks when you in the 8th grade. So my dad was trying to tell me about not falling too hard for women at such a young age. He was basically telling me, look, you in middle school, you about to go to high school. I see you talking to these girls, but basically stay focused. Stay focused on school. Girls gonna be there the rest of your life. But my dad, being the king of clubs that he is, me and my dad, we had the same card. Me and my dad, we both king of clubs. That's why we so close. But my dad used that song to break that down to me, and he turned the music up and he played it. He was like, basically saying the road of love is full of twists and turns. It never is what you think it is when you get into it. So be level-headed about it. That was my dad's way. He used Smokey Robinson to tell me to be level-headed about my approach in dating women. And I never forgot it. Because when Pops could break down life lessons to you with a song, nigga, you ain't gonna forget that game. So that's something that can work for you parents out there who want to really break down your music. And that's why I had such an appreciation for music out of the 70s and the 60s. Because my dad really broke it down to me as a kid. So I was, and so like, why am I saying that? The reason why it's so easy for me to see the continuity between jazz, hip hop, R&B, and all that shit is because, one, it was broken down to me well, and that's because like my dad introduced me to it. I was born in 1981. I shouldn't be in the 70 music the way I am in the 60s. But my dad showed me the value in it. And then so when I taught myself how to play the drums, it just basically came down to basically anything made in the 90s. That shit was just way too easy to play. So I went to my dad's tapes. So, but I'm lucky. But what if we had, even Larry in the chat room, me and Larry would have conversations about how, because Larry's dad did this. Because one time I was listening to Heat Wave at the crib, and Larry was over kicking it. And it's a song by Heat Wave called Mind Blowing Decisions. Mind blowing. And that song is basically talking about, are you gonna marry the chick you with, or are you just gonna keep shacking up and keeping your options open? That's what that song was about. And me and Larry had a conversation about how both of our fathers broke that song down and helping us deal with women. And so that shit works. But the more and more I talk to people, I see a lot of times, parents didn't really spend time passing this information down. So it's like every generation, black people have to relearn. And we think we doing something new. The shit literally happens in cycles. And those of us who may be close to a grandparent, some of us got these stories passed down from grandparents. And that's more likely where you got some of your information. Yet maybe your grandparents may say, oh, this, we had a dance called the such and such back in the day. And my grandmother used to always talk about the mashed potatoes, that dance, in like 1963, and the shotgun and shit like that. But we don't have that cultural continuity the way we should. So when people like Buster and Fat Joe talk the way they do, too many black people are scrambling for talking points. Because inherently it's wrong. Everybody know they lying. Everybody know they full of shit. But sometimes it's hard to explain because culturally we don't talk to each other enough, man. Oh, well, Cash Girl, appreciate that. He said that's how your uncle did to you with the runaway child. Yeah. We should have been done something to check these people. But we've always been so casual about our culture. We've always been so casual. Y'all remember this hook? Yeah, that's that original. That's that original. Yeah, Quan, we're way too docile. We way too docile. That makes people like Busta and Fat Joe comfortable talking like this. Like, Busta and Fat Joe are far too comfortable. And what makes it sad is these people are around foundational Black American musicians and artists every day. And ain't none of them niggas checked them. That's like sad, yo. And I'm sure there are people out there that want to check Buster, but they don't know the history. I've been observing this has been a problem of hip hop since the 90s. Because my dad would talk to me so much about his generation of music. And then when I started taking music classes and learning on my own, I saw the patterns between every time we created a new genre of music. The older generation hates on it. The younger generation creates their own slang, their own style of dress, their own dances to differentiate themselves from the older generation. And it becomes a generational game of tug of war between cultures, old and young. Let me make that point again too. That's another reason why we having this problem. These fucking generational wars, man. Fuck your day. Your day is over. All right. The best we can do is now that it's their day, give them the wisdom and the knowledge of self and the information. Let's help these babies be wiser because we give them information and allow them to make their mistakes. Empower them to make decisions. One thing that's going to happen real bad over the last 30 years is they've really slowed the progress. 18-year-olds are not ready for life these days. Hell, 25-year-olds ain't ready for life these days. These babies is like, you be having kids, like parents don't even let their kids stay at home anymore by themselves when they like 13. A 13-year-old should be able to stay home by themselves. Hell, I'd be home by myself when I was fucking 10, 9. Walk to school. Shit, 3rd grade. My mom had to go to work. School was right down the street. Walk to school. Like, they've really slowed down the progress of these children. You got to give these babies information, man. We got to load these babies up with information. We got to load these babies up for information. You know what I mean? And knowledge of self and value of self. And you can't, it's hard to start when they're already 14. It's kind of late to start, but it's never too late to start. I'm talking about getting these kids like that from birth. Putting information in front of them from birth. But the sheltering thing has been fucking us over, man. It really has. This sheltering thing has really been fucking us over. He says, Larry talking about Zydeco music. Oh man, I hate, the thing I don't like about Zydeco is that fucking washboard. And that goddamn accordion. Lord, I hate the fucking accordion. And I hate the washboard. Oh my God, I hate it. Anytime I see somebody playing a washboard, I want to shoot him on my 38, see if that motherfucker's bulletproof or not. Let's test it, nigga. Why you playing that weird ass instrument? Fuck the accordion and fuck the washboard. But I love you used to play the accordion though. What up, Ebony? And I like a lot of the look. I'm telling y'all right now, the Hollywood Bowl 2 weeks ago had New Orleans night, and nigga, Tank and the Bangers came out. Man, there was so many New Orleans acts that night. That shit was beautiful. Trombone Shorty did his thing as usual. There are segments of New Orleans music that I love. The Meters. I love the Meters kind of. I love New Orleans funk. But I cannot stand the accordion. And I goddamn don't like Lil Wayne. Like, I like Juvenile, but fuck the Hot Boys. I said it. I hate the Neville Brothers. Get that old soft singing ass nigga out of here. The Touch. Get that Craig Smith looking nigga out of here. Aaron Neville. Cotton, the fabric of our life. Man, I want to punch that nigga in the throat. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, because at the end of the day, the Neville brothers are still gods. Let's just tell the truth. I'm not saying they ain't great. They're the Neville brothers, for them to still be, for them to have had the run that they had, they're great. They're just not my style. It's just not my style. I don't want to see no swole ass nigga singing the Cotton theme song back in the. Y'all niggas was around in the 90s and the 80s when Aaron Neville had that Cotton commercial. The touch, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our life. Oh, I hated that song. I hate every time, man. I swear to God, back in the 80s. See, you little young fucks don't know. We didn't have no DVR. We couldn't fast forward these commercials. We had to listen to this cotton soft voice ass nigga every goddamn time Jeopardy went to commercial. Every time. The touch, the feel of cotton. Man, old swole ass, soft singing ass nigga. Shit. Aaron Neville. But I like, it's some Christian Scott, trumpet player. He changed his name to some African name now. It's like Christian Scott and Tunde. It's in Tunde some African shit now. But his American name is Christian Scott, out of New Orleans. That motherfucker is holding the trumpet down for this generation's jazz. I ain't tripping on New Orleans music. Just get that accordion out my face and get that washboard out my face. But y'all see how we having this conversation, y'all, about our culture? There's so much variety in black culture's music. And hip-hop is a stew. It's a mixture of all of the sounds that come before it. Because America thought that they had one over on us when they when they took the militancy out of our music, when they took the live instrumentation out of our music, when they stopped teaching music in school, they thought they had us trapped. And that's why we created hip hop. Because we wasn't learning chord changes anymore. So we said, let me take that record and mix it in a pocket and rap over it. Are you're not gonna teach me 5-part harmony? All right, cool. We'll just rap then, nigga. That's just what we did. Nah, this nigga Larry does not listen to jazz at all. Nigga, see right now, I'm listening to some Bobby Humphrey. I love Bobby Humphrey. Nigga Larry over here, the most metal thing we gonna listen to is A Tribe Called Quest. Nigga, that nigga ain't listening to no goddamn jazz. Yeah, hip hop is a culmination of everything, of all of our music that comes before it. I call hip hop is the period at the end of a beautifully written book. That's what hip hop is. Hip hop is the conclusion. It's the final chapter of a beautifully written book. It's a period at the end. Hip hop ain't from the South. It ain't from New York. It ain't from the West Coast. Hip hop is from Black America. Stop all that region. See, look, this regional infighting is why we here now. Let's think, black people. Let's sit back and think for a second. Cause and effect. Going back to cause and effect. The effect is Busta Rhymes, Fat Joe, and these people claiming hip hop for the Caribbean and Jamaican. What's the cause? What's some of the causes? One of the main causes is black infighting, regional infighting. New York. Hip hop is from New York. It's from the Bronx. And all these niggas' mamas is from Mississippi. Hell, half these motherfuckers, they from goddamn Georgia. Niggas is fresh off the buggy from Louisiana talking about hip hop is New York. Nigga, you done spent the last 700 years in South Carolina, nigga. Moved to New York 15 years ago. Niggas' family been rooted in Gullah Geechee Island, nigga, since the days of Genghis Khan. Nigga, and now you want to talk about, it's New York. No, nigga, it's a stew. Most of you niggas ain't from there. Now, there are a lot of brothers who are from there. There are a lot of Algonquin natives that are indigenous to New York. Those people do exist. But the majority of you niggas is from Texas. So we gotta stop that. We gotta stop that regional infighting. That's what got us here. Hip hop is Black American. Hip hop is Black American. It's a stew of all of our experiences that, because of condition of instrumentation being pulled from us, we had to adopt alternative means of musical expression. Okay? That's it. And really, hip hop is really just a culture, right? If you're gonna talk about it musically, it's just rap music. And what is rap music? Rap music is rhythm and blues with somebody rapping instead of singing. That's all the fuck it is. Let me say that one more time. Rap music ain't nothing but rhythm and blues spliced into a 4-bar loop with somebody rapping instead of singing. Do I need to say that one more time? Rap music / hip hop is rhythm and blues with somebody rapping instead of singing. That's it. See, when they talk about the Latin influence, this is what it's like. When they say the Latinos influence hip hop, that's like, say, you were invited onto the show Jeopardy. You could either be an audience member or you could even be a contestant on Jeopardy. You're contested. And because you played a couple games of Jeopardy, now 50 years later, you helped found Jeopardy. I'm one of the founders of Jeopardy. Look at me. I'm on Jeopardy. I was in the first season of Jeopardy. That's me. Right there. First season of Jeopardy. I'm a founding member of Jeopardy. I own equal shares Alex Trebek. Y'all see how that goes? Y'all see how that goes? These one or two Latinos danced at a party. Matter of fact, they did 10-year-old dances. They did some old played out dance that if a black person did that same dance, black women are looking at him like, what the fuck is your problem, nigga? We don't do that no more. See, black people, black Americans, our culture's so goddamn creative. You will get clowned out the party for doing 2 years ago's dance. Want some evidence? Go back to the movie House Party. Go back to House Party. Remember in the party when Kid was doing that dance and they came over and clowned Shireen and came over and clowned him doing that old dance. And when Groove and Chill, they was clowning the niggas for doing old dances. See, non-FBAs, y'all probably think they were getting clowned because the dances were really old. No. They were getting clowned because that was literally last summer's dance. We ain't doing last summer's dance no more. We doing today's dance. Get that old shit out of here, nigga. We'll clown you for doing some old shit. So here come Crazy Legs, and no disrespect to Crazy Legs. Shouts out to him. But here come Crazy Legs doing a dance that niggas stopped doing a decade ago. The bicentennial done came and gone. Niggas ain't doing that shit no more. But here you come, looking like Kid Ray from Lean On Me, doing some b-boying. Now, 60 years, 50 years later, 40 years later, you get credit for being a founding member, for doing some old shit. You right, C Diggs. I don't recall them on Soul Train. The only other on Soul Train was that Asian chick with the long ass hair. And she wasn't doing shit but twirling her hair around. She wasn't even dancing. Yeah, no, there's nothing. No, it was hip hop, but just, and that's another thing the reason why I be on New Yorkers so hard. Y'all motherfuckers is so goddamn selfish. Y'all selfishness and egotistical behavior is what got us here. New Orleans is responsible for so much. Yet, they claim jazz, but at the same time, You never hear people from New Orleans say, "You from Kansas City? What can you say about jazz? You ain't from New Orleans." No, because New Orleans people are secure enough within their foundation of Black American music that other places that have taken the sound and did other things with it, they're secure with that because they know their position. They don't have to put it in your face every goddamn time. Press the number one if I'm telling the truth. Press the number two if I'm bullshitting. The Delta Blues people, we know the Delta Blues are a certain kind of, but they don't. The blues is the undercurrent of R&B and all the shit that we do. You don't see the people of the blues of Memphis. Do you see people out of Memphis going around saying, it wouldn't be no R&B, it wouldn't be no hip hop if it wasn't for the Memphis blues? Have you ever heard that? Because it is true. It wouldn't be no R&B without Memphis blues. But you don't see people from Memphis hanging up the conversation saying, y'all don't know shit about R&B because of what we created out of Memphis. LA, we created disco. You don't see us bragging all the goddamn time. Love Theme, originally composed in 1966, hit big in 1973, the first disco song. Song 1A, it also came out of Philadelphia. Philadelphia created so much goddamn soul music. Co-creators of disco. You don't hear them all the goddamn time slowing the conversation down. Man, that came out. Man, the first hip-hop song was a disco song. Disco came out of Philadelphia. You don't hear that shit. No, funk is not from Ohio. Ohio is what expressed funk at the highest level. Funk's out of James Brown. James Brown from South Carolina. The second funk song was out of California, Oakland, Sly and the Family Stone. Sly and the Family Stone hit before anybody out of the funk genre of Ohio hit. Ohio wasn't on the map yet in funk when Sly and the Family Stone dropped in 1968. That's where you get the thump. Larry Graham, Oakland, California. Then in the 70s, Ohio Players cracked the door open for funk because the Ohio Players were a jazz. Look, let's just do some music history. And y'all know me, I'm the biggest proponent of Ohio music. But let's go back to history. We just gotta do history. The Ohio Players were playing jazz in the 60s, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that. The Ohio Players were originally a jazz band. That's why musically they were so dope in funk, because they were a jazz band. They switched to funk. But again, like all black music, yeah, you may have a particular start date here, but our music spreads like wildfire. It's really a polygenesis, because one may hit off here in this city. James Brown hit off out of South Carolina the same year Sly and the Family Stone hit off. 2 years later, oh yeah, another one. I gotta give Mr. Bobby Rush a credit. I interviewed Bobby Rush, the blues great. He had a song called No Chicken Heads that he recorded in 1968. It hit big in 71. But that's funk. And Mr. Bobby Rush is from the rural South. He had a funk song before Ohio. But once Ohio got the funk, Ohio took the funk to a level never seen before and never seen again. But that's how you know it's in our blood as black people. Ohio didn't create the funk. Thank you, Star. That's an interview right there. Star just posted it. Hey, hit my Cash App, y'all. Shit. I'm supposed to be in there finishing my book and hustling. Hit a nigga Cash App. $ DwannBrown. The miles will take you to Cash App. Shit, hit a nigga Cash App. But in the Black American Music Tree on incenseandashtrays.com, lightthemood.com, Jayla Baxter, lightthemood.com, Weed Smoke 22 is her product code for 40% off. I'm listening to some Idris Muhammad right now. This is somebody y'all wanna vibe out to some music. This is somebody you wanna listen to right here. Idris Muhammad. Especially his album Power of Soul. This whole album is dope. But anyway, Ohio didn't create the funk, but Ohio took funk to a level, to these soul music. I always say, funk is every bit as musically sophisticated as jazz. Yeah, Lorraine's Dance is beautiful. That's a beautiful song. So, this motherfucker, this funk music, Ohio, that's just, if you wanted some funk, you had to go to Ohio to get the musician. But that's how our music is. The seeds of hip hop were planted in New York. Some of the seeds. But you had the Watts Prophets doing hip hop style rapping here out of LA in 1968. The Watts Prophets. But it's like, once Rapper's Delight dropped, and then once the message dropped, hip hop became more of a thing. But we gotta ask, who validated hip hop? What's the mainstream artist, the mainstream jazz artist that validated hip hop? Who? He's still alive. Herbie Hancock. Rocket. Doom, 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 doom. Herbie Hancock played with Miles Davis. Herbie Hancock is a music god. A living, walking god. He put his career on the line for Rocket. The early 80s, the generational divide was at near its peak at that time. You had Generation X that said, fuck that old people music. We ain't listening to Lionel Richie. We ain't listening to no fucking Count Basie. And we for damn sure ain't listening to no Herbie Hancock. We got this new music. This new rap music. Back then they always say rap music. That's what they said back then. I got rap music. I don't need your earth and fire. Fuck all that shit. I got rap music. And the old people was like, fuck rap music. Rap music is the worst thing to happen to America. Rap music is the reason why drugs are coming in. Rap is the reason why these gangs are coming in. Everything was blamed on rap at that time. Everything that bad that happened in America that Ronald Reagan was causing was blamed on rap. Herbie Hancock dropped Rocket at the height of this. And that song stayed #1 for I don't know how goddamn long. So although New York may have been one of the sparks that lit it, hip-hop really started to get really mainstream appeal after Rocket. Herbie Hancock. Yo, Bruce, man, stop that tender shit, brother. It's not about being hard on anybody. I tell the truth. Look, y'all can't take history personally, y'all. None of this is personal. Whenever we're talking about history, whenever we're talking about information, it's just information. Take the information. If you think I'm lying, look me up and see if I'm lying. If you don't care, keep pushing. But it ain't about being hard on anybody. It's just about talking about more likely than not. 7 out of 10. I know it ain't everybody. I'm speaking on 7 out of 10. Whenever I'm speaking, whenever anybody's speaking, we're speaking on 7 out of 10. Always remember that. I lived through that, man. I remember what it was. I remember being a child listening to the adults. I remember my Uncle Jesse hearing it from the grown people that are around. Like, you know what I mean? I remember the stuff my dad would say. My dad never harshly judged it, but I do remember when they would be over the house watching Laker games and they be talking, man, this rap music is this, and all them old niggas be talking. I remember this shit. Church, especially church. Oh my God. Church was really on that shit. I remember C. Dolores Tucker. I remember every time we turned on, I remember watching Teen Summit and them having conversations on BET back when BET was black owned about the dangers of rap. I remember this shit. And it was only us, black people, yo. They didn't have Mexicans. Mexicans weren't dealing with the fallout of rap. Jamaicans were segregating themselves from us, calling that shit Yankee music. Rap was a hard thing to deal with in the 80s and the 90s, man. I remember that. I was a child, and I remember seeing the rifts between my brother and his older cousins and shit like that. I remember these days, man. We ain't gonna let these people. Black people took all these blows on the chin. Hell yeah, Gil Scott-Heron fits in rap. The revolution will not be televised. Nigga. So, we took a lot of heat, black people. We took all the bullets for rap and hip hop. The Latinos did not fuck with us. Jamaicans didn't fuck with us. And the ones that did fuck with us, like Busta Rhymes, hid the fact that they was Jamaican and just mixed in. We took all of those blows. When other people can come to the hip hop party and then go back to their side of town and be their culture and say, oh, that's not me, I'm not black. It's crazy how the most efficient motherfuckers in the world that are the most efficient people that saying, I'm not black. Super quick to say I'm not black. Now you co-founded hip hop. Buster shit. That's a buster ass move. That's a buster ass move. Let's call it what it is. That's a buster ass move. When the shit was hitting the fan, you were able to play between two cultures. And when the shit hit the fan, you got to fall back into your culture. You weren't arrested just for being a rapper. The people from your culture, they didn't have a whole police task force to target your culture and friends. Hip hop has to deal with whole fucking police forces targeting it. Hip hop had to deal with what can I say? No, it's not there.
Oh, not there.
No. E?
2908.
Upstairs.
Yeah, here.
No, upstairs.
Okay, upstairs?
Yes, upstairs.
He didn't write the apartment.
It's apartment E, upstairs.
He didn't write the apartment.
Oh yeah, some Asians. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I should have took that food. And niggas celebrating Teddy Ray upstairs right now. I'm gonna get off here and go up there and kick it. Niggas celebrating Teddy right now. I appreciate that, Amar Woods. I appreciate that. But man, I love this song right here. All right, I'm talking over it because I don't want YouTube striking me. Man, I love that song right there from the RH Factor. But we faced a lot of shit, black people. And look at what's going on in Atlanta right now. You got a black DA targeting black rappers. They're not targeting Latinos. There are do you guys know that there is and it's on my Black American Music Family Tree. There's a genre of music called death metal. Death metal. Death metal is literally music about raping 8-year-old girls. It's about raping people's mothers and grandmothers and dead corpses and bestiality. There's another form of music called gore. And gore is all the creative ways to kill people and maim people. There's no death metal task force. There's no gore task force. How many Latino rappers here in LA that deal drugs got caught up on RICO charges and their music being used as evidence? Has that happened to a Latino rapper yet? Think about it. Yeah, they don't get blamed for these mosh pits. People dying in these goddamn mosh pits every fucking week at a concert. People getting concussions, getting lifelong permanent injuries in these mosh pits. People leaving mosh pits crippled the rest of their fucking life. Think about that. Yeah, Proud Boys. The Proud Boys listen to this shit. Death metal is Proud Boy music. Black people, we can't share this culture because we don't suffer the same consequences. These people want to share in the greatness but don't want to deal with any consequences. I guarantee you if they had to deal with the consequences of hip hop, they never claim it. So it's important, it's imperative that we maintain our culture, that we gatekeep our culture. What's up, Frank Green? What's up, Ben Frank? Hey, Ben Frank, is that you that called in the Craig Facts earlier? I think you called in right before I got on the mic. But we have family members right now, all of us. Either, I don't mean brothers, they may not be brothers and sisters, but everybody got at least a third cousin or second cousin that's in jail or had to spend some time in jail because of the fallout of hip hop. I remember the 90s before this shit got mainstream acceptance. I remember the 90s. Just anybody who was just dressed hip hop and they were black, you was getting fucking pulled over. You was getting harassed. Not only by the police, but your own parents and your uncles and your fucking grandparents talk shit to you because your pants was too baggy. Because of that music you listen to, that the only thing your grandparents heard about rap music is that people kill each other over rap. So you grew up Generation X, 7 out of 10. You dealt with your own family. You dealt with the church talking shit. You dealt with the police. You dealt with your schools. Hip hop dress brothers getting lower grade. It's so petty as cats with baggy pants was getting lower grades. That's why in LA, niggas flipped the script in like in the mid 90s. Niggas started wearing Nautica and Hilfiger out here and started dressing preppy. That's what happened in LA in the mid 90s. Niggas started wearing glasses, non-prescription glasses, polo shirts and polo pants and some Dockers. And some Timberlands. We switched it up in LA. We had to, because dressing to hip hop in the early 90s was a guaranteed ass whooping by the police. It was consequences and repercussions for being black and hip hop. Black people had to change it up and dress preppy from the mid 90s through the late 90s. Niggas weren't even wearing jeans no more because niggas, no, we wearing Dockers. Because of the consequences for being hip hop. We didn't live through that shit for y'all to come later on claiming this shit. Now that everything is, now that all is clear. Fuck that. And that's real. And that's real. Hell no. You say y'all couldn't wear Raider jackets? Hell. Don't get mad at me, Frank Green. I couldn't wear Raider jackets either. Shit. I didn't want to get jacked to get shot at. Yeah, Benny, man. That's why we dressed like that back then. Niggas went to dressing like preppies. Because dressing Raider jackets started. See, in the early 90s, it was starter jackets and jeans, some Jordans. But the street niggas was wearing corduroys and croaker sacks. You know, baggy jeans. The police was kicking our ass for that. You couldn't get hired for a job, and teachers was low. I was in school them years. That's why another reason why. Yeah, we was wearing cross colors and FUBU back then too in the early 90s. FUBU, cross colors, baggy. But what happened was I was in school. I know. We were getting lower grades for dressing like that. The white teachers, or even sometimes, unfortunately, black teachers. Oh, that's one of those. Oh, you one of them rap kids. And you must, because hip hop was associated with gang life. So you must be a gangster. So already, when you walk your first day of class, you got to fail. You better work your ass. The teacher put a fail on your motherfucking report card the day class first started. If you work hard enough, you might get a C. But you ain't getting no A dress like that. That's the kind of shit we dealt with. I saw it. Overripe Middle School, Coliseum Elementary. So when high school came, when I went to Westchester, that's when niggas started wearing heel figure. That's when niggas started wearing Nautica and Polo. Throw people off. Oh, I ain't hip hop. I'm wearing Dockers and this Nautica shirt. That's what was going on in the 90s. Because hip hop was a consequence if you were young and black. Hip hop was a World on Wheels, man. Man, when I was in them years, I used to go on gospel night. Because you go to World on Wheels on Friday or Saturday night, somebody getting shot, man. That's what we had to deal with. Wasn't none of y'all around. It wasn't no Mexicans at hip hop at World on Wheels here in LA in the 90s. Y'all wasn't at World on Wheels. If it wasn't the shooting that night, it was the police out there on Venice Boulevard waiting to fuck you up the minute you left that parking lot. Y'all wasn't at World on Wheels with us. Nah, none of us were wearing Bugle Boys. Anybody wearing Bugle Boys back then they would have had to transfer schools. There's no way hell somebody could have worn Bugle Boys at Westchester and come back to school the next day. No, you couldn't know. But yeah. We dealt with too much people to give it away to people who didn't deal with what we had to deal with. The Mexican kids wasn't, even the ones that kicked it with the black people, they weren't getting targeted by the teachers. And I don't remember any even Mexicans, even the Mexicans here. I don't know what about New York, but even in the '90s here in LA, the Mexicans and the black people had totally different swags. Mexicans weren't acting like black people yet in the '90s. Now, the way they talk right now, well, they've always acted like black people. Mexicans have always been like 20 years behind. Like, they like Tupac, but Mexicans still dress like Mexicans. You didn't really have Mexicans that was dressing like niggas yet. Not in the '90s. You didn't really start seeing the Mexicans that having more of a black style started coming in more in the 2000s. That's what's up. We got 187 people here, 187 likes. But yeah, download the caffeine app. My Hotepish will be on the caffeine app. And I forgot damn it, the comedy. What's the name of our channel on caffeine? I know some of y'all know. Shit, what's the name? God damn it, I'm high. The Comedy Press. I'm gonna be doing my show starting like on Tuesday at 2:00. I'm gonna have call-ins. I'm gonna have y'all calling in, and I'm gonna read some of y'all that call in too. The Comedy Press. Get my Black American Music Tree on incenseandashtrays.com. My black t-shirts. All that shit. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. I'm out.